At least 15 public schools in Canberra are closed today and several others partially closed due to concerns over asbestos contamination. A recall has been issued for a decorative coloured sand, which has been found to contain traces of chrysotile, a type of asbestos. Authorities say while it's an evolving situation, the exposure risk is low. Reporter Monty Boville joins us now from Canberra. We have heard from numerous authorities. What do we know?
We've heard from a number of authorities now, including the Education Minister, the Education Directorate, and of course also WorkSafe ACT. Now, I'm standing outside Campbell Primary School in Canberra's inner north. Now, that's one of the 15 schools that have had to close today because of this potential asbestos contamination. Now, that contamination is in that decorative coloured sand that is believed to have been used in these schools for art and craft, for sensory play. So that's resulted in those 15 schools being closed. Everything from Black Mountain School, Campbell Primary, Charles Weston, Charnwood Dunlop, Everett, Flory, Latham, Lyons Early Childhood, Malkara, Namaji, Chapham, Cranley, Miles Franklin, Fraser, Waniassa. So these closures really affect right across the capital. We now know that the list of partially closed schools is also growing. That's now reached 13 schools that are partially closed. So this is obviously a dynamic and changing situation. We have seen some parents arrive here at the school this morning to drop off their kids and haven't been able to do so. Now, this is not an incident that is just affecting the ACT now. We know that this decorative sand has been sold at retailers across the country and it's been found in other schools. We now know that one school in Brisbane in Queensland has been closed. That is Mansell College at Fig Tree Pocket in Brisbane. That has been closed out of abundance of caution. We've also been hearing from other education departments from other state governments around the country. We've just heard from the New South Wales Education Department, and now they say that they've sent out a safety alert to all public schools to immediately and safely remove these sand products if they have them, but no school closures there. We also have just heard from the Victorian Education Department. They say that the health risk is low, and as such, no schools have been closed in Victoria at this time. But as I say, it's obviously a very dynamic situation with multiple states and territories now responding to this decorative sand containing asbestos.
We saw last hour authorities in Canberra speaking. There was the Education Minister, the Education Directorate, as well as WorkSafe. What light did they shed on the issue?
Well, we know that this has all come about from an alert sent out by WorkSafe ACT on Wednesday night. Now, that alerted Canberrans to the fact that this decorative sand had been sold in Canberra and that testing that they had done had discovered that it did contain asbestos. In that alert, they said that there was no major risk. They said the risk to exposure is low, but they said that if you have that decorative sand, that you need to remove it and dispose of it safely. Now, over the last 24 hours, we have been, we know that WorkSafe has been talking to the Education Directorate here in the ACT about what presence this sand might have been in public schools here. As a result of that, there was a lot of discussions last night around the safety of those schools, and it was decided that it was safer to close them today to ensure that all the sand could be removed while students weren't there. We did hear, as you say, from the Education Directorate. Here's a little of what they had to say.
As a precautionary approach, it is a low risk. However, in order to isolate the site and maintain business can often be challenging in a school-based environment, and the nature of young children who are often the people that are engaging with this particular product. These decisions aren't taken lightly. We know that this is a disruption to the community, and so when we do need to make those decisions, it is based on the information through our risk assessments that inform that.
Now, we have also heard from the Education Minister here, Yvette Berry. She says, of course, this is upsetting news for families, obviously causing a lot of disruption across Canberra today, having almost 30 public schools now impacted by this decision. But she says that their safety is their top priority and that they're happy that they've made this decision today. Obviously, it came quite late notice for some people, and as I said, some people have been arriving to schools to find that those schools are closed. When we're talking about when these schools might reopen, the Education Minister says that they will be letting people know on Sunday evening as to the arrangements next week, but they're very hopeful that they'll be able to be open as normal on Monday morning.